topic for our Wednesday workshop on handling holiday stress, how to not be a bah humbug. And delighted to have our guest presenter today from Texas, of all places, which was a big surprise as I started reaching out to some different agencies to find a speaker on this topic. But we're very delighted to have Jaylyn with us this morning. I can see she's already introduced herself, so to speak, and started making new friends right here on our Zoom call. So
I do that.
no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to this exciting lady with her good topic.
Well, thank you, Miss Lavita. So I appreciate you guys having me. So yes, I kind of ended up presenting to you guys in a roundabout way. One of my good friends and my previous boss is the executive director of NAMI, North Carolina. So when you guys started reaching out to different organizations, I guess looking for somebody to present, she sent me a message and she said, "Hey, this is right up your alley." So so Holly connected me with you guys, with NAMI being a great resource in y'all state, as in all states. We partner with them pretty well in Texas. And so with her now being in North Carolina, I've actually done a couple of presentations for individuals in North Carolina when they've reached out to her. So I appreciate you guys having me. I think it was shared with me that everybody on the meeting is retired school personnel, mostly teachers, I believe. So I want to give you guys a big thank you for what you guys have done. As a former educator, I know what you guys have been through, and can say congrats on being retired school personnel. I did not make it that far. It's 7 years. I said, see ya, I'm out, and went into something different. So now what I do on a daily basis is I work for an inpatient hospital, psychiatric hospital here in Texas, called Cedar, Crest. And we are predominantly serving adolescents. So out of 158 beds, about 118 of my beds go to the ages 5 to 17. Wow. And so on a daily basis, we are working, and we do have 40 adult beds, but we're working with individuals that obviously are handling stress. They're handling mental health issues. They're handling all kinds of different hurdles and barriers. And this time of year, the holidays can throw people for a loop. I can't say it any other way, right? Sure. Some people they're the cheerful, singing the Christmas songs and singing the holiday songs and making all the things and decorating their house and wearing different holiday attire every day. And then other people are just bah humbugs or Grinches. I was telling a few people earlier, we are divided in my household. My mother is the one that's heavily decorating. I come home every day to new decorations being put up somewhere in the house. I moved back in with her a couple of months ago, and she would say I'm the bah humbug or I'm the Grinch, right? So handling and doing this presentation for everybody this time of the year kind of helps me become less of a bah humbug, and hopefully will help you guys out as well. I am going to ask for some participation. As former educators, you guys should be prepared for that. So I don't think we need to mute everybody, as long as we don't have a huge group on here. So if you want to, speak out, I think we'll be able to control that. But the first thing I want to ask, and you guys can simply put it in the chat or do a raise of hands, how many of you are feeling stressed out this holiday season?
Me, not so much this year, because it seems like I started a little earlier. And
okay.
Except I worked at my local board of elections. And so after all of that was over, I have felt like I've had more time. And I mean, that was just so hectic that this year
Right.
seemed a little less hectic to me.
Okay. And then I see one hand raised here on being stressed out, a couple of hands. So for those of you that are not feeling stressed out, I applaud you, right? my stress level is getting even higher between everything personally I have to do and everything work related I have to do before I ever get to the holiday, right? I think that's the way it goes in our world. Is there's always, maybe you guys not so much because you've reached the great retirement that all of us strive for. But I think with holiday stress, there's different things that come into play, right? Sometimes it's our family causing stress. Sometimes it's work causing stress. Sometimes we're causing stress on ourselves. Maybe our health is causing stress. So there's a lot of different things that we have to look at when we're kind of considering that. So if you look at the American Psychological Association, they actually report that this time of year, 8 out of 10 Americans anticipate stress during the holidays. From Thanksgiving until after the new year, if you were to ask 10 people on the street if they were feeling stressful, at least 8 of them are going to tell you yes, right? And heightened stress during the holidays can have kind of a negative effect on us. It can trigger unhealthy behaviors. So we're going to talk about things like overeating. Some people drink to excess, right? We have a lot of holiday parties that happen and go on, and sometimes people overindulge. If you think of the food that we fix this time of year, a lot of it is very carb heavy. There's a lot of cakes, a lot of cookies, a lot of pies. So very sugar forward. And so sometimes we overeat, sometimes we overdrink. And then physically, we start feeling those effects too, right? Sometimes people aren't sleeping as well. We talked earlier, we were having a conversation about the weather, right? This time of the year, it's getting dark earlier. It tends to be more cloudy. We have more rain. We have more cold weather. And that can just cause people to kind of feel grumpy and Bah-Humbug-esque. So we have to look at these different things. So as we go through this presentation this morning, I'm going to have, it's going to be, like I said, we're going to kind of do it as a workshop, and you're going to participate. So if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper handy, you might go ahead and grab one, because there's going to be some questions that I want you to answer, and then hopefully you guys will share. So if you don't have something to write with, go ahead and get that. But we're going to identify the main sources of holiday stress, specifically your holiday stress. We're going to learn to make healthier choices during the holiday season. We're going to create and develop a plan to manage holiday stress. And then we're going to make the holiday season happier, hopefully, right? That's the goal, is if we can come up with a plan, manage our stress, then hopefully we can have a happier holiday season. So the first thing we want to do is let go of unrealistic expectations, right? Does anybody think they have unrealistic expectations for the holidays? Again, give me a show of hands or speak up. Okay. A couple of things we have to remember, right? We cannot recreate the past. So I know every holiday, my mom starts talking about how we, things that we did as kids and all the things she remembers and enjoys, and that she wishes that we would do again. And I'm like, we can't, I can't be 5 again. We can't recreate the past. And despite what some people believe, you will never have the perfect holiday, right? Everybody wants, if you've got anybody in your life that is maybe a perfectionist, and they want everything to be perfect. The food has to be perfect. The decorations have to be perfect. The timing has to be perfect. Everything, the gifts have to be perfect. Guys, I hate to tell you, but you will never have the perfect holiday, right? It is just not going to be possible. Something is always going to happen. Something's always going to throw a wrench in the plan. So as we're being participatory, right? I want you guys to think about this question and fill in the blank. One thing I would like to have happen this holiday season that probably won't is. What is one thing that you would like to have happen this holiday season, but you already know that it probably will not happen? And then who would like to share once they get their list?
I'll take that one.
Okay.
I would like to see all of my children and grandchildren all at one time.
Okay. How many is that?
That would be 8 more people. But
Okay.
with their schedules and stuff, it's like you say, just not going to happen. So I might as well accept it.
Yep. I think my mom pretty much has that same goal. I'm the oldest of 5. So with us and grandkids, but we all live in different places. The youngest lives in Oklahoma. One child lives in Oregon. I live here. My sister lives in Vietnam. Um, there's just no way between, and then I have 3 educators in my family. So, schools get out at different times of the year. Traveling is not always easy. Kids have different things that they're doing during the holiday. So it's really hard when you have a big family to be able to get everybody under the same roof at the same time, on the same day, just because of the busy schedules everybody has. So other than getting everybody under the same roof, does somebody else have something that they would like to have happen this holiday season that they know probably will not?
Well, I would like to have my complete house in order from top to bottom, and that
Okay.
just won't happen.
That would be my goal for any time of the year, not just the
Yeah,
holiday season, and it
no,
never
that's my
happens.
yeah. Anytime, yeah,
Okay.
won't happen. One thing I found out, I'm retired, been retired quite a bit, but I'm finding out as a retiree, more is expected of you in the professional organization. More of it is expected of you in the community, the church, the family, but simply because you're retired. So you have really, in a sense, less time for your own home.
All right. They think you have all this free time, so why can't you be everywhere, right? All at one time.
That's correct. Hmm.
Yes.
I
I
find
will
that to
teach.
be true as well.
Say that
I,
again.
I find that to be true as well.
Okay. Let me give y'all one word of advice. No is a complete sentence, right? We all have a hard time with that. I think, as former teachers, I would consider you guys caregivers, right? I think that
Hmm.
just naturally you're a caregiver and have been a caregiver. That's what you've done your entire career. You probably, most of you on this call, take care of your families as well. You've always been the person that's taking care of the household and the family. So
Hmm.
those of us that tend to go into this role are caregivers. And so saying no and having it be a complete sentence is often very hard for us. We don't do
Hmm.
that very often. Um, One thing I would like to have happen this holiday season that probably won't is some me time, right? Um,
Hmm.
just some time for me to have by myself, which is not going to happen. And so again, that's not selfish to want those things. That's self-care. But does anybody else, before we move on to the next one, have one they want to share? We've got somebody wants to get their house in order. We want all of our family under one roof. Anything else that we want to share?
My family is all here in town close to me, and so I have 4 adult children and their spouses and 8 grandchildren. And
Oh, wow.
so um we all get together periodically, and the holidays are one of those, but we alternate between Thanksgiving and Christmas when everybody is here for a specific meal. And I just like for everybody to get along because they're here together all the time. And so they're all in each other's business a lot. And so it's
Yep.
it's almost like having 12 children with
Oh,
the
yeah.
children and grandchildren and all of
And the spouses.
the mess that they get into.
Hmm.
I
I
would
know.
like to get my house in order too.
Okay. Well, I can say I will be, and I don't care to share this, I'll be 48 this next year. And I am my mom's oldest. Her baby is 25. So we range in huge range. She would probably agree with you. She would like all of us to get along. I think we still bicker now like we did when we were 5, 6, and 10. Um, but that's funny. So we go through this is kind of what you're doing. You're creating your holiday plan, right? So we're learning to set realistic expectations. She would like all of her kids to get along and her grandkids and their spouses. But the reality is that's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to be realistic and know that they're probably going to bicker. Somebody's going to be arguing with somebody, or somebody's going to be mad at somebody else. You know, we've got people that want to get their house together, but the reality is with everything else going on and all previous obligations, that's probably not going to happen either. So again, just letting go of unrealistic expectations from the very beginning is going to help you not stress about those so much.
Jaylyn, I would like for everybody to like the gifts that they receive.
Okay, that's a good
Oh,
one. Just be thankful, right? Just be thankful for what you're getting. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So secondly, we want to acknowledge and express your feelings honestly. Does anybody in here have a hard time expressing their feelings and being honest?
Yes.
Right? How many times a day does somebody ask us, how are you doing? And we just automatically reply, fine. Even on days when you're really not fine.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, does anybody ever say, no, today's a really crappy day? Right?
No.
Sorry, you asked. I'm going to tell you the answer. Today is not good. So I want to make sure, like, when we're doing this, one of the things that we can do is acknowledge and express your feelings honestly. Give yourself permission to feel a sense of loss. If you have an illness going on, if you've lost a loved one around this time, if you've recently gone through a divorce or a separation, whatever you're going through and whatever the holiday brings up, give yourself permission, right, to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
My word for 2024, I try to choose a word every year that I live by. My word for 2024, and I really don't think I want to give it up in 2025, is grace. I give myself grace. I give everybody else grace, right? I'm going to give myself the grace and the permission to feel whatever I want to feel. If I want to feel sad, that's okay. You know, I talk about my mom loving Christmas. My dad loved Christmas too. He was like, what is that show with Chevy Chase where he decorated the outside, National Lampoon's Vacation?
Yeah.
I mean, that is what the outside of our house looked like every year. My dad passed away in 2020. So this time of the year gets a little sad for me because we don't put up all the Christmas lights outside. My mom and I just don't have the time. Physically, that's not something she can do. All of my brothers live out of state and out of town. So we don't have the outside decorations like we used to. And that makes me feel a little sad. But I give myself permission to feel that way, right? Because of the loss of my dad. So your next statement that you're going to fill in, one thing I'm feeling today as the holidays are approaching is blank. And think about that. One thing I'm feeling today as the holidays are approaching is blank. What is somebody feeling?
Well, for me, I lost my daughter-in-law on November the 1st.
Aw.
And so, so this is going to be a different holiday.
First holidays are always hard, right?
Yes. Especially when about 2 weeks before she passed, she asked me, Mother, what are we going to do? Well, that was November the 1st. She said, Mother, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving? And see, by then, she was already gone. So, you know, and now we're going into the Christmas holiday. So that would be quite an adjustment.
Right. So one thing, and anybody else want to share? One thing that they're feeling today? So we've got sadness.
I'm feeling excited.
Okay.
This is Smith from Harnett County. I'm feeling excited because last November, my mom had a stroke and she has been in a facility until about mid-October of this year. She's still not walking, but she is home. And I praise God for it.
Ooh,
Also
okay.
feeling anxious.
Okay.
Because I still have not finished shopping and I'm not going to stress about it.
That don't stress, right? We got lots of options.
A fellow colleague on Friday, and if I find something, I find it. If I don't, I don't.
There you go.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
glad.
Okay, so we've got excitement, we've got sadness, we've got anxiousness. Anybody else feeling something different? Somebody in the chat said they're just ready for it to be over. I can agree with that.
I'm glad to be home this holiday.
Okay. I gotcha. So we're good. Just happiness to be home and be where you are.
Mine is a little bit of anxiousness because I've had a hip replacement and I'm trying to do a lot of my shopping online. And my first delivery never appeared at my doorsteps, even though
Oh,
they said it did. And
yep.
so I'm worried about the porch pirates interfering with my Christmas.
I gotcha. So we're worrisome, right? What about anybody feel overwhelmed?
Mhm.
Anybody think about that word? Right? You can, and here's the
Yeah.
deal, guys. You can have multiple feelings. So you can feel excited, but still also feel overwhelmed. Right? I'm
Mhm.
excited for everything, but I'm also a little overwhelmed because now I've got to, I've still got to buy groceries. I've still got to get gifts. They may not show up on time. You know, and that's kind of the point I'm at. I'm at the overwhelmed point between everything with work, everything that has to get done in the next 2 weeks. I'm at that overwhelmed stage.
Mhm.
What about anything else? Anybody else have a feeling they want to share before we move on? Okay, let's move on to the next one and see what we have there. So on the next one, we are, if you tend to isolate, right, then we're going to challenge you to try to keep busy instead, right? I don't know, with everybody's situation is a little different, but sometimes people at the holidays kind of become introverted and they don't want to leave their house and they don't want to get together with people. They don't want to go to those Christmas parties or those holiday gatherings. But we really need to try to step outside of that. Isolation kind of leads to more sadness, more depression. So we want to invite others to get together, right? Be proactive, not reactive. That's a big one, right? We are kind of, in reality, we live in a reactive society, right? Overall, we are more reactive to things than we are proactive. And then we want to stay active, get out, go for a walk, window shop, right? Make sure we're doing something that's some kind of exercise or, even if it's just walking around the block once a day or 3 times a week. So on this section, it says one friend or group I could get together with is, right? Sounds like all of you guys are part of a lot of groups, so you're already doing this, but is there a friend or a group that you could get together with? And who would that be?
Mhm.
Family.
Family. Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody else like to window shop? They go out and do that? I don't. If I don't have the money to buy it, I don't want to look at it.
Mhm.
And if I go look at it, then I'm going to try to find the money to buy it. So,
Mhm.
okay, somebody sitting here, she has a red hat group. That's a good group to get together with. I love the red hat ladies.
Mhm.
Right.
Definitely.
I
I'm
think
very
and I
glad
think,
member.
say that again, Miss D.
Yes, I'm a Red Hat member and we have
Okay.
fun. And
Woohoo.
that's why I instill in the family to have fun and just smile.
There you go. So I think for me, I get to see my family a lot during the holidays and I'm thankful for that. But for me, I like to have my girlfriends, right? I want to at least once during the holiday when people are off work, we have a girls' night where we just go to dinner or we get to visit and it's, it could be previous work friends, it could be my personal friends. All of us have different schedules. And so I just like to get together with them. We don't always get to see each other a lot during the year. All right, so let's go on to the next one because there's going to be some more. So here's another one. Don't expect issues with others to disappear just because it's the holiday season.
Mhm.
right? We already talked about family conflict a little bit earlier. When you have a big family, when you have a big group, the reality is not everybody's going to get along. Different personalities equals different mindsets. People have different beliefs. You know, without going into a rabbit hole on here, it's been a pretty stressful season for everybody on a political front, right? And you get people that come into families that have different political views. Can you imagine how this holiday season is going to be for those families? Right? So if possible, reduce the amount of time you plan to spend with difficult family members or friends. Again, it's okay to say no. If there is somebody that causes you additional stress to be around, it's okay to set those boundaries and limit the time you're going to spend around them. Okay? Let go of past conflicts and resentments. Right? Guys, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is never for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. You don't have to forget stuff, but if you don't forgive and move on, it tends to eat at you probably more than it is the other person. So I always tell everybody forgiveness is more for you, not for the other person. So let go of past conflicts and resentments. Acknowledge feelings related to the holidays, but try to avoid associating the holidays with unresolved family issues or a painful childhood. This one's a little difficult, isn't it? As we think about these. Respect and support each family member and their choices about participation in family activities, and allow for changes in plans and participation when possible. One of the biggest struggles, and I know you guys probably have this because you have daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, your kids have spouses. I love my mama dearly, but she does not share well with others. Right? My mother always wanted, if I had to split a day between, if I had a boyfriend at the time or whatever, and I needed to split my day between here and his family, that was not good for her. Like, she wanted all of our time at all the time, you know, for the whole holiday. And that's just not realistic. We got to learn to share a little bit. So you have to respect and support their decisions on what time they're going to share with other people, when they can be there, when they can't be there. Keep expectations realistic and learn to forgive. And make sure you're balancing your needs with your family's needs. How many of you forget what your needs are this time of year? And you're so focused just on your family's needs, right? So here's the statement we're going to fill in for this one. One positive and supportive family member or friend I will spend time with is. Who is that person for you? Anybody want to share? Who do you have in your life that's positive and supportive that you're going to try to spend time with this holiday season?
Sisters.
Okay, your sisters.
For me,
Anybody else?
I've actually already done this. I did this past Sunday. I had my grandsons come over and they helped me put out some of my Christmas decorations, and then I gave them a treat for helping.
Well, there you go.
My children.
Your children.
My daughter.
Her daughter. All right. Mine's my best friend. We've been best friends since 6th grade. So I tell everybody she's supportive but honest. So she's going to keep me grounded, right? So this section, because it's kind of like we're going to keep going through, there's going to be some that have multiple questions in there. But think about who that supportive family member is, or that friend. And if you haven't already spent time with them, then go ahead and get that on your calendar, right? Because we need that interaction. So next, if you are struggling with loneliness or are facing the loss of a loved one, which we already know we have some on here that are, with whom you have shared the holidays, you want to make sure that you're going to a place where you can find support and encouragement, right? You want to spend time with people who care about you. Maybe volunteer on your own time or your family's time to help others, right? I think we established in here probably everybody that's in this call or on this Zoom is a caregiver of some sort. And I know we're all short on time, but volunteering, I don't know how many of you in here now that you're retired volunteer, probably several. But when I get a chance to volunteer and help others, it makes me feel good, right? Not kind of in a selfish way, like it's not like I'm boasting about it or doing those types of things, but just volunteering or helping others and trying to make sure that we can take the focus off of whatever they're going through. Okay. This last weekend, a group of friends and I got together and we went to dinner. So one, got to hang out with my friends and go to dinner. But before we went, we got with the manager of the restaurant and made sure they set us in a section for maybe one of the waitress that had a lot on her plate for this holiday season. And we all tipped a little extra, right? But there were no pictures taken so that it could be posted on social media. There was no extra recognition, anything like that. It was like seriously just wanting to do a good deed and help her out. So volunteer your own time or your family's time to help others. When we look at this one, the last one is accept feelings of sadness. If we are going through the loss of a family member, a friend, or anybody that we've lost recently, accept those feelings of sadness. These feelings may not go away just because the holiday cheer is around. Okay. So on this one activity I will do to deal with loneliness or loss is who wants to share what they put in the blank?
Well, I'm the one who lost a daughter-in-law November the 1st. And then 2 weeks later, I lost a first cousin.
Oh,
And so that was a double whammy. So for spending, if I were to pick something I would do to deal with it, the mother of the first cousin, we don't live near each other, but I would, spend some time talking with her.
okay. Anybody else?
Talk with friends on the telephone.
Okay. Just being connected, connecting to other people.
I will do something that I don't normally do, like maybe go out to a movie theater or something. I watch movies on TV, but to go out and.
No, I get that. So, I talked about my dad earlier, and one of the things that it has been a family tradition for as long as I can remember. My dad I call him a movieaholic. But literally every Christmas afternoon, we would go to a movie. We would, as a family, would go to the movie theaters and see a movie. And we have continued that. We have continued that since my dad passed, right? So when we get together on the 23rd, since I'm leaving Christmas Eve, we've had to adjust it a little bit because of the time schedules, but we'll do our family Christmas that evening, and then we'll all go to a movie. So that's how we deal with our loneliness of loss of our dad, is to continue the tradition that he enjoyed. Anybody else have something they're going to do that may be a little bit different?
Watch movies on TV with family.
Okay. Watch movies. Anybody have a favorite holiday movie? My mom always makes us watch It's a Wonderful Life. Every Christmas.
I wanted to add that I usually get together with some college friends, and we have a Zoom meeting because we all live in different places, and we call it a holiday getaway. And so we have our pajamas on, we wear our pajamas and have little activities that we do. and show and tell. We show our tree
Aw.
and things like that. So that's helpful because December is a month where I've lost family members, grandparents, all in the same month over the different years. So December is pretty hard for me. In fact, today is one of the days. So just finding things to get together with others. Good
I love
friends.
that idea. I love that idea. And isn't it amazing how, I mean, if there was one thing positive that came out of the COVID years, it is the way technology has come about for us to be able to connect with others via Zoom, via Teams, all the virtual options that we now have. I think that is by far one of the most positive things that came out of COVID, and that people are continuing it. So I
Yes.
love, yeah. So one of the other things too is this time of the year is very intense, right? Everybody, again, we're trying to finish work. We're trying to do all these things, and it's a time crunch. Somebody mentioned earlier, I still haven't finished buying all my Christmas presents. And then we've got the anxiety of, are they going to be delivered on time? So just the intensity level around the holidays goes up a couple of steps. Everybody's intensity level goes up. So one of the things you can do during the holiday season is to prepare for this is eliminate any stressful or unnecessary activities or chores. If it does not have to be done right now, and it's not a major thing, then we're going to postpone it, right? We're going to eliminate it, or we're going to postpone it. Devote time to relaxation and rejuvenation. Now, I'm sure probably a lot of you are not really great at the self-care part of mental health. And I say that because as a former educator and somebody who's still in the caregiving role, I am not very good at the self-care, right? Do something special for yourself. Make an appointment with yourself. If you're like me, I have a calendar or planner that stays full of things that I have to do for everybody else. And I forget to schedule time with myself. Whether it is getting up 15 minutes early so you can sit in 15 minutes of peace and write in a journal, whether it's going to get your nails done, do something special for yourself during this holiday season. Okay. Always seek support if you need it. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help any time of the year. Show of hands on here. Who's the people on here that everybody comes to for help? You can't see, but I'm raising my hand.
Yeah.
Right?
It in
So
that category.
it becomes very hard for those of us that are always the ones helping others.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we need help, we
Mm-hmm.
really struggle with asking for it. Because we feel like, well, everybody always comes to me for help, so I shouldn't have to ask anybody else. I should know the answers, or I should be able to help myself. The reality is, guys, everybody needs help at some point in time in their life. And we have to make it more of a normal occurrence to ask for help, to not be embarrassed when we're struggling, and to see and to reach out to people and let them know. Be honest. Hey, I'm really struggling right now. I could use your help in doing this, right? It doesn't make us any less. It doesn't make you, any less good at your job. It doesn't make you any less good of a parent. It doesn't make you. Asking for help is just something we have to learn how to do. So this time we got three questions, or three blanks we're going to fill in. Mm-hmm. So on the first one, it's one stressful activity I can abandon or eliminate is blank. The next one is one relaxing and rejuvenating activity I can enjoy is blank. And then one special thing I will do for myself is blank. So what is one thing you're going to get? What's one stressful thing you're going to eliminate? What's one relaxing activity you're going to do? And what's one special thing you're going to do for yourself? Okay. Anybody want to share their answers?
I'm going to do a 2-for-1. I'm going to do relaxing and rejuvenating with doing something for myself and schedule a mani-pedi.
There you go. I agree to both of those.
Mhm.
Anybody going to eliminate a stressful activity? And today they're making the decision. I'm not going to do it. I'm done.
I'm not going to cook an exceptionally large meal.
There you go. That's a big
Mhm.
one,
Because that's
right?
requires a lot of time.
A lot of time, a lot of energy.
Mhm.
Groceries aren't cheap this time of year either.
Mhm. That's true.
So probably I would venture to say one of the number one stressors for everybody during the holidays is financial,
Mhm.
right? And a couple of years ago, one of the stressful activities that we abandoned was buying a gift for everybody. We just stopped doing it. Now we draw names or we do a white elephant. We alternate years. So one year we'll do a white elephant and the next year we'll draw names. Everybody's on the hook for buying one gift, value of $50 or less. And that's it.
Mhm.
We don't spend a lot of money. We're not making people stress about where their paycheck is going or how many gifts they have to buy. That's what we're doing, right? So that's one thing that we gave up a couple of years ago. Anybody giving anything up?
Mhm.
She's giving up cooking a big meal. We got that one.
Well, we did the same thing. In my family, we went to a Pollyanna kind of draw for the cousins and and my children with their siblings, and it's been so much nicer.
Agreed.
Okay.
Right? The holiday season is not about the gifts after all. It's about spending time with family and being together and the spirit of the holidays. So if you can't, like, as we've gone through this, if you're having a hard time thinking of something to fill in your blanks, everybody's got at least one thing that's causing them stress. I promise. May not be able to give it up, but let's look and see if we can find one thing. And then also make sure you're doing something that's relaxing, rejuvenating, and for you. And it may be you can't do that till after the holiday, and that's okay. Schedule it right after the first of the year, but make sure you do something to take care of yourself. When we also look at things, we want to reevaluate holiday traditions, right? Are they too stressful or time consuming? I think it was Stella that said, she's not going to cook she's not going to go over the top with the meal anymore. How many of you have to you've had the same food every year for every holiday, right? Every kid has a special dish that they want. And as a mom or a parent, you're going to do everything you can to make those dishes.
Mhm.
So, or we talk about the tradition of gift giving. In the past, everybody's had the traditions of giving gifts. I have a friend of mine, they started something with their kids, growing up. That was always a thing they remembered is they got a ton of gifts every year and kind of their parents went overboard. So when she started having kids, they decided that they were going to create a new holiday tradition and each of their kids only gets 4 gifts for Christmas. They get something they want. They get something they need, they get something they can wear, and they get something they can read. So each kid only gets 4 gifts. And that's their new holiday tradition. It keeps them from having to go too crazy on gifts, becoming too stressful. So on your next line, it's one tradition I may need to give up or restructure. Okay, we can say change it a little bit. One tradition I may need to give up or restructure is what? And then who wants to share that one?
Well, mine would go back to what we were talking about, I guess, when it was abandoned, because I'm still in the family structure where we give all these gifts. So,
okay.
So that would take in a ban or restructuring for me. Something I could suggest.
Okay, there you go.
Mhm.
Anybody else have a tradition they want to share, or we'll move on to the next one?
Mhm.
Traditions are hard to give up, right? Because they
Yeah.
came from somewhere.
Mhm.
Send out less Christmas cards.
Send out less Christmas cards. I like it. We're back. We're moving into technology. Just send everybody an email, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. So one tradition we may give up is not doing the Christmas cards. I got that. So moving on to the next one, beware of overindulgence, right? And we're almost to the end of this, as I know we're getting close on time. But we talked at the very beginning, two of the things that people tend to do during the holidays is we overeat and we overdrink, right?
Mhm.
Eat, drink, and spend time in moderation. Stick to non-alcoholic drinks if possible. Set spending limits, right? So even if you're going to buy gifts for everybody, set a spending limit. I'm not going to spend more than $20 on each person, so that it's not putting you in financial stressful situation. Or
Mhm.
you don't, that could go back to the conflict. Well, somebody gets this gift and somebody else gets this gift. And then, you kind of have all of these issues that go back and forth. And then try to increase physical activity, right? Again, physical activity doesn't mean you have to be running a marathon or you have to be doing extensive exercise 5 or 6 times a week. It could mean you're just going to get out and walk around the block 3 times a week, right? So on this one, I will spend no more than X number of dollars per person on gifts. If you want to set you that limit, if you're already buying, this is out the window for this year. You're going to have to do it for next year. And then one way I will increase physical activity is to blank for how many minutes per day.
Oh, Lord.
Right. And one way you can increase physical activity is I'm going to park towards the end of the parking lot while I'm shopping instead of at the front of the parking lot,
Mhm.
so that I have to walk a few extra steps. So it can be something
Mhm.
literally just as simple as those things. So I won't make you say these out loud, or ask anybody to share, because I don't want to throw the money question out there. But these are things to really think about when you guys are doing your holiday plans. Is, keep this for next year. Let's think about it. I'll send out this presentation, but if it's not something you can put into place this year, maybe it's something you
I'm
can
on Zoom.
for next year to make your plan better.
Mhm.
Okay, getting towards the end, we're going to remind ourselves of the true meaning of the holidays that we celebrate.
Mhm.
Right? Again, we're going to focus on what's most important about the holiday season. Is it spending time with family? Is it spending time with friends? Is it having time off work? And sometimes we have to do some self-discovery and remind ourselves what's important, right? So this year, I will remind myself of the importance of blank.
Mhm.
I think family's probably in a lot for all of you, because y'all
Mhm.
mentioned family a lot. Does anybody have something other than family that they're going to remind themselves the importance of?
Mhm. Well, here I go again, going back to the daughter-in-law and first cousin. Just remind yourself it's a blessing just to be here. Mhm.
That life's precious, right?
Yes. Mhm.
What about we're going to remind ourselves of the importance of self-care? Make sure you're doing something for yourself. Let's remind yourself
Correct.
of the importance of self-care, right? Life's precious. We're going to importance of family, self-care. All of these things are going to be things that we have to think about for the holiday season. It's not all about the giving of gifts and the food and drinking that
Mhm.
we're going to be doing.
Mhm.
So that is all of the information from this plan. I did want to leave a couple of minutes for anybody that has any questions. I did get a lot of this information from SARTA, which is in one of their articles, Coping with Holiday Stress. But kind of just wanted to see, does anybody have any additional thoughts about what we talked about today? Is there anything that maybe we didn't mention that you think is important for handling holiday stress? And then this is just my contact information. So if you guys ever want to reach out to me with any questions, that's my email, my cell phone number. And then again, like I said, I know we recorded this, but I'll also share this presentation with anybody that might want it. What do you guys think?
Mhm.
Did any of this ring true for you?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it did.
Do you think it's going to help you with your holiday stress? Maybe some of it this year, but then really be able to implement it for next year before Thanksgiving through the
Mhm.
holiday year?
Yes, because to
Yeah.
me, you're focusing on a part of it is just reality. Because a lot of times during the holiday, what you're trying to accomplish is not real. And that's
Yeah.
what makes it so stressful. But there has to be a reality component to it.
Yeah, we have to get, there, you have to
See,
have
like next year, if I'm still here, I'll be a year older than I am this year. So why
That's
should I
it.
be expected to do the same thing when I was 50? I'm 76 presently.
Okay. What is it
So
they say? Doing the same
mhm.
thing over and over and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity.
Yes, and I know that you're talking about me. At least
So
I recognize that you are.
that's the first step. That's the first
Yeah.
step. Recognition. So, okay, guys. Well, I just want to say thank y'all for letting me come and do the presentation today. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you guys got some information out of it. Keep your answers that you wrote down because I will send out the presentation. So you'll have those questions that you can pair with them. And then there may be somebody in your circle of friends or family that you might need to share this with, right?
It's true. Amen.
Maybe you see that somebody's really stressing this holiday season and you're like, you know what, let me share something with you. And you can go through the questions on kind of, they can self-pace themselves and ask these questions and see if we can bring them back into the real focus of what the holiday season's about.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, thank y'all for letting me present to you. I really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate you volunteering your time and bringing this very germane topic to this group. It was a wonderful presentation. And as I said, this is a totally new topic for us in terms of our Wednesday workshop. So those who were not here today have certainly missed out, but we're very happy that you're willing to share that. And we will be sharing it on our member page so that members can go back and look at it. So even those of you that are here today, can look for it on the website if you want to go back and find the PowerPoint later on as well to share with some others. And I always like to stop and thank our staff as well for all of their background support on our Wednesday workshop. So thank you, Carol.
My pleasure.
Our January workshop has not been confirmed at this time, but I have invited Mike Gavin to come and present on member benefits for January. And our new co-chair, Ren Bryan. Ren, are you still with us? Maybe not. Maybe she's already checked out. She's working on a topic for February that will be another new topic for us. So I won't steal her thunder just yet, but look for something new coming up in our Wednesday workshop for February. As always, we do try to schedule these on the second Wednesday of the month, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. And again, thank you, Jaylyn, for presenting. Enjoy your trip to Germany. I'm very envious. I've been wanting to go to the Christmas markets for so long now, and it's something I need to put on my list and just do
That
it.
is, I will tell you, if you've never been, they are a must. They are a
Well,
must. They're pretty amazing.
I've been to Europe. I just haven't been at Christmas time, and that's something I would like to do is to see the Christmas markets. And I keep oohing and on over pictures on Facebook, so it's time to make a commitment, I guess, to
That's
do
right.
something different for the holidays next year.
Well, I hope all of you have a very blessed holiday. Enjoy your season, and everybody be safe.
You too.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you for everyone who participated today. We hope you will join us again next month.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.